there's tales of a monster that lives in this area. It is said to lure its victims into a watery grave. Some even say that it's a creature from the past. Hello everybody, welcome to another video, and today I got something kind of special for you guys at home. Now, you probably have seen the title, you've definitely seen the thumbnail. It's time to show you a life-sized Spinosaurus. Alright, so I took the time to draw a life-size Spinosaurus. Now, even this isn't like the full extent of how massive these creatures could have been. Now, this guy, this drawing I made, measures to about 49 feet long. I can't really make it that much longer, but yeah. So that's about the average estimate that scientists have for this creature. Although some higher estimates put this creature up to growing to be about 51 feet. 51 feet long. Shut up! Okay. So let's start at the tail. Now, recently, a Spinosaur tail had been found that gave the tail this peculiar shape. So, yeah, we got that. Now, this paddle-like tail might have helped Spinosaurus really get through the water, so, at a decent speed. So, yeah, we go up the tail. Also, I gave this guy color scheme of the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. So, as we go up the tail, you get to the defining feature of the Spinosaurus. It's sail. Now, sail still is pretty unknown what it might have been used for, but it could have been used for heat regulation, might have been used to aid in swimming, could have been used to attract a partner, it could have been used for many different things, but as to the exact purpose of it, scientists are still not really sure. Now, another very defining feature of the Spinosaurus are its massive forearms. Didn't draw his hands very well, but these are very large and muscular, and they had these huge claws, sharp, hooked claws that they could have used to catch a meal, most likely fish and other aquatic creatures. And its legs, now compared to his arms, his legs are pretty skimpy. Now, these are pretty small and probably weren't very well suited for walking on land, but they definitely would have been able to walk on land. But it's definitely heavily debated whether or not, when they walked on land, if they would use all fours or if they would use just their legs. But the way I see it, I think they probably might have been able to use their legs, but most of the time they would walk on all fours. Anyway, that's just my theory. Now, it would have had toe claws. What more could you want, really? Now, as you get to probably not the most, but the second most defining feature of the Spinosaurus, its beautiful crocodile-like head. Now, I probably could have drawn this bigger. In real life, their head could have been, or their skull is 6 feet long. So just comprehend that for a second. That's like, to put that in perspective, it's like as long as Darth Maul's lightsaber. So, just imagine that on the head of a Spinosaurus. I don't know. It's not a very good analogy. But, it's also how far you need to stay away from people. Okay, so it would have had this hooked jaw. Now, that would have been perfect for catching fish. Now, most people might look at this creature and think, this guy is huge. It's a big, muscular, and powerful creature. Why would it mostly eat fish and other aquatic creatures? Well, at the time and place where the Spinosaur lived, there was tons and tons of large carnivores that it would have competed for if it ate mostly food on land. And there's plentiful amounts of food in the water, but there's only like a few species of like hadrosaurids and things like that. There's actually, there's only one species found in the Kem beds where the Spinosaurus is primarily found, and that would be the Oranosaurus, which is cool. It also has a sail in the back, oddly enough. What a coincidence. Anyway, it would have had to compete with giant super carnivores like Carcharodontosaurus. Now, even though this guy is pretty well adapted to aquatic life and does have those powerful weapons, even though it probably could take on one of those bad boys, he doesn't want to, because he wants to conserve as much energy, and he doesn't want to, be killed, obviously. So, he wants to avoid confrontation as much as possible. So, you got things like Carcharodontosaurus and Deltadromeus, which are very large carnivores, and they, obviously, you don't want to be in competition with those. So these guys have developed those spinosaur jaws for eating fish instead of going after the same prey that other carnivores at that time and place are going after. Now, the Kem beds in particular are an odd place because, they had a huge variety of carnivores, yet they didn't have very many herbivores, and probably there would have been stiff competition between all the carnivores there. And some scientists say that the Kem beds in Morocco was probably one of the most dangerous places in history because of the sheer abundance of the large carnivores compared to herbivores in the area. Gave him snake eye. I don't know why, I just wanted to. Now, one cool thing about Spinosaurus is its nostril is far up on its snout, and this is very similar similar to like a brachiosaur almost, because they have these nostrils far up on there. But alligators and crocodiles nowadays have their nostrils there, and so did other theropods. These guys opted to have it there so they could keep their nostrils and eyes above the water even easier. Now, I think if I was back in the time of the Spinosaurus, like 70 million years ago, and I was, some of the things he eats, like Onchopristis, like a sawfish type creature, I would be terrified, as the last thing you would see is that. You wouldn't see much else, either that or maybe his claws, because these probably were pretty well suited to grabbing hold of fish as well. But, yeah, that's the Spinosaurus. Now, these guys would have been huge. They were probably one of the longest and, not largest, but longest carnivorous dinosaurs to ever exist. And, yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. It took me bloody ages to draw the whole thing. And it took a lot of red chalk. That's my red chalk now. It sucks. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Also, check out my last video I did where I showed you guys the Eastern Harvestman. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.